Well, get ready for the worst recession we've had in the United States in over 100 years. All of this liquidity is going to have to be drained. All of the extremes are going to have to be normalized, and it's going to cause enormous turmoil. It's going to be brutal, just brutal. People are going to lose their houses, their businesses, their cars, their families. They're going to go through their entire savings. There's going to be unbelievable turmoil coming. We've been talking about this for 3.5 years because our downside is 4. So my model stopped in June of 2022. That's where we peaked in my models. Now, in my group, we quit buying. Because what happens when you peak? It means it's not going up anymore and the market's starting to change. It's called a change of trend. We saw that, and now we're coming to the culmination of that, and it is going to be brutal. All this extra liquidity is going to have to be resolved, and it's going to be lost. So someone's going to take enormous losses. Now, it's going to become one of the greatest markets in the world right after that. Everybody's going to be scared bejeebies. They're going to hate that. Now, just follow my work. We've been saying this for years. It's been really, really accurate. If you like my videos, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. This is how YouTube grows our channels. I've been trying to be very, very straight with you. I've been telling you not to buy. For 3.5 years, I've been telling you, look out, we've got problems coming, and it takes a long, long time. I admit, it takes a long time. But the last video, if you just watched my last one, we talked about valuations. We're going to extend that a little bit today. But this is going to be a warning to you. We've got a major problems coming. You can see this in New York's going to have problems, Chicago's going to have problems, and Seattle, because all these extremes, they just overflow. It just becomes like a cultural and a societal extremes, and they're all going to have to be resolved, brutally resolved, but it's going to be resolved. So let me go to my next slide here and see if we can't. I was sent this from a listener and a researcher. This is from Danielle DiMartino Booth. Let me open up even more if I can. And it just kind of validates what we've been talking about, the oversupply of apartments. We can see that this is a phenomenon. It's going to be only for a couple of years where we're going to get a huge supply of apartments coming to marketplace. And then, of course, they're going to be absorbed, and there's no new ones being built. So we have a period coming in about 2 years. They're all going to be absorbed, and there'll be a shortage again. So we're looking for 2 years out. But in the meantime, it's going to be pretty brutal. And this just shows on our slides. This is from Danielle DiMartino Booth, that yes, indeed, we're seeing that rents are coming down. Now, I'm going to tell you, we are valued on what these are worth. It's strictly cap rate. Last one we talked about this, but we are seeing rents coming down. It's validating our predictions in the fact that we have much lower prices coming. If you just look at homes based on income, it's just one of 3 ways to do this. So this is just an income approach. I think that we have a possibility of getting down here. A $400,000 house here in Phoenix, Arizona has a possibility to getting down to $250,000. That is a brutal, brutal decline. Anyone that purchased up here in this, if they can hold on till 2 or 3 or 4 years, I think everybody will be just fine. But in the meantime, if life happens. So if you need to sell, why you probably will be, you're already underwater for the most part. So it's probably too late to do anything about it. But we need to look forward to buying some of these. So this is going to make for a very, very good buy for ourselves. And this is what we're looking to do. Now, just taking a look at the other metric, rent to own. Normally, as you see, rent equals ownership, and that's because you're dealing with first-time home buyers, and they are really their constraint is how much they can pay. So they generally go up to what they can't afford, and that generally reflected in the local rentals. And so your first home's mortgage and what you're paying for rent are generally pretty close. There's a couple of trade-offs, of course, because you get tax write-offs, and then you have to pay for repairs and stuff. But they typically are pretty close to each other. That is wildly out of whack today. Just wildly out of whack here in Phoenix. I mean, like 40% out of whack. Which then, if you just take back my last slide, if we just go back to here, you know, if we go back to this slide, it takes us back to about 250,000. Because if you have a $400,000 home and we're 40% overvalued, that takes you down. What's 60% of 400? 260,000, which kind of validates this number right here. So that's what we're looking at here. We can do it on a payment wise. Now, this is also from Daniel DiMartino Booth. We're talking about delinquencies. Now, this is very, very important. We're approaching great financial crisis delinquencies in single-family homes of 90 days plus late, because this is what's happening. Is that we're starting to see in all segments that we're starting to see delinquencies. And look what this came out today. So remember, we literally just had Home Depot come out today, and they're saying that yes, indeed, traffic at their stores is down, revenues are down, and we saw this. I told you this like a month ago. So this is the same headline we used a month ago, saying that nearly 60% of U.S. homeowners cannot afford to do home repairs, and that's so very important because these are your neighbors. These are the people who are in trouble. These are the people that are going to go into foreclosure, because if they can't fix the front door, they can't fix the cracks, they can't paint the house, they can't fix the roof, well, they can't pay the mortgage. If you can't make the mortgage, they are going to foreclose, and they are going to become your cops. So remember all that fun when prices kept escalating, going up and up and up, and your home just kept getting more and more valuable, and you're telling everybody how smart you were buying these properties? Well, now when you start having this, because this is the mirror image of that, when you start seeing people that have to sell their house and they can't repair their home, they don't get top dollar. They get less money. And each and every one, they're setting new comps. And the comps are going lower and lower and lower. And you only have to have 3 of these, 3 sales in a neighborhood, and now you've got new benchmarks. And I'm telling you right now, the benchmarks are going to be significantly lower. Let me go to my next slide and let's just talk about that. So again, this is what Home Depot came out and slashes outlook. Home renovation demand continues to crumble. What a great organization. And yes, if you've gone to a Home Depot store recently, you're going to find out that they're not as crowded as they once were. And here's what my concern is. Now, I'm going to tell you, we've been talking about the fact that there are 1.7 million homes in loss mitigation from the Biden administration. Now, the Biden administration's FHA violated all the rules, all of them. So if you're a conventional buyer, conventional 20% down, I'd like to see you that your debt to income is about 25 to 30%. If you're going to go up into an insured loan like on conventional, like 5% down, 10% down, but it's going to be insured by a private mortgage insurance company, they're going to want they'll let you go up to like 30 or 35%. FHA is a fully insured mortgage, and this is geared for lower, first-time home buyers that need to buy property. It's part of the American dream. They'll let you go up to 43%. Now, big difference between going conventional and going an FHA. The Biden administration, 67% of all FHAs violated that 43% rule. Just take that to the bank. So they would have to let people go up to 50, 51, 52%. And conventional is like 25 or 30. So they're almost double what conventional is. And they now have 1.7 to 1.9 million FHA delinquent properties. And the Biden administration put them into loss mitigation so that no one knew about it. And the government, you and I paid their mortgages, some of them up for 3 years. The government paid their mortgage so that we wouldn't have any foreclosures. And of course, now they're coming to fruition, and they're being foreclosed on. And this is what's happening: is that the first quarter that the Trump administration came in, they filed almost 94,000 foreclosures. That wasn't even a full quarter, and we're doing a minimum of 35,000 foreclosures a month across the United States. So you just have to realize that these are coming. Now, foreclosed property or short sale property in the market, they are going to affect your valuations in a very, very negative way. And we've got three different mathematicals looking at this. And our math is telling us that we have a downside potential of 30-40%, which should be pretty severe, because these are the ones who are selling. So you have heard of the frozen market. These are people that, the mortgages are $1,500-$1,800 a month. They're down at 3.5% interest. They got four. For them to just move and get the exact same house, they're going to go up to $3,000 a month. They're not doing that. For them to go ahead and improve their house, they're going to have to go from a $1,500 or $1,800 a month house payment to like $3,500. So they're frozen in place. They're not going anywhere. So the people who are selling are the ones that are forced to sell, and they're not selling at top dollar. So they are going to validate my approach, thinking that mathematically we've got a pretty severe potential downside. And what are you going to do about it? Now, we've been talking to you for a couple of years, saying this is coming. It's just like steamrolling in. Now, I think it's going to be worse next year than it is this year. So there is absolutely no reason for you to hold off and think, well, I'm going to sell it in the spring because I think it's going to be worse. I mean, the stock markets are already starting to roll over a little bit here. So I think that you need to talk to your brokers. There is going to be huge, enormous opportunities coming, and we're going to be in the greatest market in my lifetime, and I've been in business for a really, really long time, is coming. We're going to have great prices. It's going to be a great opportunity for people, but you're going to need to be able to do this. You're going to have capital, cash, money in the bank. You're going to need a job, and you're going to need good credit. That's all you're going to need. And you can set your life up and set your kids up, all your family up, your mom and dad, your kids, your uncles and aunts, and they can buy things that they never were able to buy as little as 3 or 4 years ago, and they're going to be able to get them at a very, very good price. It only comes like once, twice, 3 times in your life if you're lucky to get that. It's brutal. It's scary as all get out. And when I tell you these things, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh no, I'm not going to do it. I'm too scared." You will. You're going to be literally petrified. But we're looking at 2008, 2009, 2010, probably on steroids. The worst recession we've ever had in the last 100 years is coming. You can see that. Just look what's going on with Europe. Look what's going on with China. You can see that Germany and Japan are just clinging. Germany is really in trouble. They got bankruptcies. We have France is looking for an IMF loan, if you can believe it. France. Great Britain is saying they might be looking to the IMF to get a loan as well. Spain is putting on capital controls. So all this is precursor to very, very bad times. So we just need to pull in our horns, quit spending, save some money, and things are going to get better. But it's going to be a ways out. Let me finish this slide deck, and we can talk about this a little bit more. Now, why do you suppose those pending home sales are down here in the dumps? Because nobody can afford to buy it. They cannot afford to buy the prices. Now, what do you suppose happened here when we peaked? Right here, 2022 is when we raised the interest rates and homes became unaffordable, and you can see the pending home sales just dropped like a rock. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist. You can see its prices are too high. And we're looking at unemployment starting to crack a little bit. So I'm going to tell you, our model is a predictive model. It has done very, very well. Risk is incredibly high. All this fun from here in 2020, we came up through the accumulation phase and into explosive phase. Each and every month, house prices are going better and better and better, and higher. If you're in the asset class, you're just making all kinds of money until you get up around here. And all of a sudden, things right here, when you start to get up around 2022, we start getting at affordability. And then it peaks. And what happens when it peaks? It means we are not going any higher, and we have a change of trend. And I'm going to tell you, all that fun that you had coming up on this side, you're going to have a nightmare coming up on this side. And I think you have a possibility here. You see here where it bottoms? Really, it bottoms over here. But we're going to start buying here because most of the risk is going to have been removed. This bottom goes all the way over here. This could go all the way back to like 2016, 2017 prices. That would be truly amazing. That would be really, really brutal. The worst recession in 100 years. That means the banks that lent all this money are going to be in incredible trouble. The banks that put money out that were so smart because they were getting extra yield for construction on new multifamily homes. And people were buying apartment buildings and office buildings. Now they're coming up. You know, we have $1 trillion of refinance coming up in the next 12 months. And most of that is not going to get refinanced. The bank's going to take that back. It has a real possibility of destabilizing a lot of banks. So, lots of turmoil, lots of problems, a lot of people really in trouble. And you're going to feel sorry for them. I mean, how can you not? You know, my heart goes out to the first-time home buyers because, as I told you before, you put 3.5% down for FHA. You finance back 1.5% for the mortgage insurance premium, so you have 2% equity. We've already had 10% decline. So all these first-time home buyers that were, so excited to buy a brand new home, they're probably underwater $25,000 to $50,000 already, and that's probably going to continue. They're probably going to be $100,000 underwater, and that's fine if they just stay there, like the frozen people. They just stay there, like the frozen families. If they've got a good mortgage, if you just stay there for the next 5 or 10 years, they are probably just fine. But life happens. If you have to sell your house because death, divorce, sickness, illness, job changes, transfers, all happens. And if you need to sell, you're going to find yourself looking at either a foreclosure or some kind of financing work with your bank. Do some kind of short sale. So these are coming. So there's going to be a clearing period. So we're going to have a clearance sale. That's where I'm suggesting that you hold off and try and take advantage of this. So this is where I'm at. If you want to talk to me, if there's some kind of questions that you have beyond this, I love to get your comments. I love to hear what's going on in your marketplace. Give me your comments as best you can. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. My very best to you guys. Bye-bye now.